This is TradeFlow News, bringing you relevant news and insights from around the world. TradeFlow News, enabling trade for SMEs and economies worldwide.
These are some of the key topics that we will be looking into in today's program.
First, let's take a look at the overnight headlines which are impacting the commodity markets.
China's crude oil imports rose on the previous year in April, as refiners prepared for a fully recovered Labor Day holiday travel season, official data showed on Thursday. Crude imports in April totaled 44.72 million metric tons, or about 10.88 million barrels per day, BPD, according to data from the General Administration of Customs. That represented a 5.45% increase from the relatively low 10.4 million barrels of oil per day imported in April 2023. China saw more than 1.3 billion passenger trips over the 5-day Labor Day holiday that began on May 1, up 2.1% from a year earlier, state media outlet Xinhua reported.
U.S. crude oil stockpiles fell as refiners increased production, while fuel inventories rose unexpectedly last week, the Energy Information Administration, EIA, said on Wednesday. Crude inventories fell by 1.4 million barrels to 459.5 million barrels in the week ending May 3, according to the EIA, slightly more than analysts' expectations in a Reuters poll for a 1.1 million barrel draw. The draw came as refinery crude runs rose by 307,000 barrels per day, and refinery utilization rates rose by 1 percentage point to 88.5% of total capacity. That, however, was down from 91% utilization a year ago.
Moving on to the top news in the energy sector.
Russian missiles and drones struck nearly a dozen Ukrainian energy infrastructure facilities on Wednesday, causing serious damage at 3 Soviet-era thermal power plants and blackouts in multiple regions, officials said. Ukraine's Air Force said it shot down 39 of 55 missiles and 20 of 21 attack drones used for the attack, which piles more pressure on the energy system more than 2 years after Russia launched its full-scale invasion. Another massive attack on our energy industry, Energy Minister German Galushchenko wrote on the Telegram app.
China's coal imports rose in April, customs data showed on Thursday, fueled by lower domestic production and greater buying by power generators to swell stockpiles ahead of the peak summer demand season. Shipments of coal into the world's largest consumer of the fuel were 45.25 million metric tons last month, up 11% from 40.68 million a year earlier, the data from the General Administration of Customs showed. That was up by 9.4% from March and 2 million tons less than December's record of 47.3 million tons. Next, we have the top news in metal markets. China's unwrought copper imports in April fell 7.6% from the prior month, customs data showed on Thursday, as a surge in global prices dampened buying appetite. Imports of unwrought copper and products in China, the world's biggest consumer of the metal, were 438,000 metric tons in April, compared with 474,000 tons in March, data from the General Administration of Customs showed. Imports were 7.5% higher than a year ago. The data includes anode, refined, alloy and semi-finished copper products. Copper surged in April, boosted by raw material shortages, demand optimism driven by new energy and AI sectors, and speculative buying.
The platinum market faces its largest supply shortfall in 10 years in 2024 as shipments from Russia return to normal from last year's highs and industrial demand stays firm, Johnson Matthey said in a report on Thursday. The auto catalyst maker added that it expected all platinum group metals, platinum, palladium, and rhodium, to remain in deficit in 2024. The 3 metals are used in auto catalysts that reduce emissions from vehicle engines, with platinum also used in other industry and for jewelry and investment.
We will now look at the top news in the agricultural sector.
China's soybean imports in April jumped 18% from a year earlier, data showed on Thursday, as buyers snapped up cheap and plentiful Brazilian beans from the South American producer while it was wrapping up its harvest season. Total arrivals for the month were 8.57 million metric tons, according to the General Administration of Customs, the highest on record for April. Soybean arrivals into the world's top buyer during the January to April period were 27.15 million tons, down 2.9% from the same period last year, the data showed.
That is all for today's news on commodity markets. Stay tuned to TradeFlow News as we continue to provide you with more updates. We also invite you to follow us on Twitter at TradeFlow News, which allows you to watch our program on your mobile device or desktop to receive information from there.